vector angles in 2 dimensions, and it's basically understanding and interpreting things like this: 10 meters, 30 degrees north of east. What does that mean? I want to remind you when you do my videos that I suggest that you pause the tape frequently. Maybe pause and write down what's on the screen and then listen, or listen first, then pause and write down what's on the screen. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to go too fast for you in the video to get it all at once, and I think it's better to pay attention once all the way through before you start writing and trying to keep up at the same time, though these examples aren't that hard. Okay, so anyways, the question is, draw a vector that represents 10 meters, 30 degrees north of east. And I guess I should say first, I've been talking about vectors a lot. Vectors are just, well, they're arrows, but there's something that represents a direction, right? But anyway, so 10 meters, we don't really draw things to scale, and that's what my note is here. Don't write that 30. What it is I draw things to sort of represent approximately to scale, like an idea of what it looks like. And so I'm going to draw, it's not going to be 10 meters, it's not going to be 1 meter or 1 centimeter for every meter, whatever. I'm just going to draw a vector here. But 30 degrees north of east. So this is my north and east quadrant, right? So I'm going to draw 30 degrees north of east. I'm going to draw it right there. And that's my 10 degrees, my 10 meters, sorry, and my 30 degrees will go right in here. Because, and I think about it the way that you say it, it's here's my east, right? And I'm 30 degrees north of east. I'm 30 degrees up or north from the east axis. And 10 meters, let me just go over here. Okay, now just underneath here, I say, so what's another way of saying that? There's a few other ways you could say 10 meters, 30 degrees north of east. You could say 10 meters, let's just look at it for a sec. I could say east, 30 degrees north, would be one. Another way would be, there's a few different ones. You could say 10 meters, I could say 60 degrees east of north. Let's just see why that's true. Because this here would be 60, these two add up to 90, right? So this is 60 degrees right in here. So it's 60 degrees away from the north axis. That would work. I could also say, I think there's about 4 ways to do each one. 10 meters north, 60 degrees east. So hopefully you can follow that okay and see where I'm coming from on that. And if not, of course, we can talk about it in class, and we will do some clickers in class as well on that. Moving on to the next one, I'm going to do another similar example. Draw a vector that represents 10 meters south, 20 degrees west. So I'm just going to get my arrow here, south, 20 degrees west. So it'll be in this quadrant here. And then how do I know where to put the angle? Well, if I read that, I think I'm going to say, like, sort of think it through just as I'm saying it. South is down here, and then 20 meters, or 20 degrees, sorry, to the west. So my 20 degrees is going to go right here. Okay? Draw a vector that represents 10 meters south, 20 degrees west. Again, I know I'm going too fast for you to copy with me. You can always pause. Okay, so some other ways to say that. I might say 10 meters, 20 degrees south, or sorry, west of south would work. I could say 10 meters, how about west, 70 degrees south would be another one. That's sort of taking into account that this is 70 degrees in this area here. So it's west, 70 degrees south. That works just as well. I could also say, to get my fourth method of saying the same vector, 10 meters, 70 degrees south of west would be another way. So it is important that you get fluent enough with that that you can go back, if I put it in a question, you can immediately understand what I mean. Okay? You can sort of, it's not that too much of a struggle. You should be fairly fluent with that. Okay, so I do think you should try these. Please pause the video. I'm going to put the answers up on the next screen. So pause, write these down, and then flick to the next screen. So So you should be paused right now and guessing your answers. Okay. And hopefully, here's the answers. You can pause and take a look and see if one of your answers is on there. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson on naming vectors in 2 dimensions.